in the infield before qualifying, but nonetheless they came down here prepared, ready to change gears as qualifying is out on the speedway.
When you come all the way from Perth, you're certainly prepared to take a few chances. Jesse Nicholas on track along with Dylan Gent. Nicholas off 4 to lock in his first lap. Boy, you're really pulling some revs here too. 14.950. And a 14.950 is not good enough for Dylan Gents. 13.989. 13.989. Nicholas, can he improve? 14.544. And Gent does not improve, but he's still quick time. 13.989. So Jesse Nicholas, his second time was a 14.95, but he's 14.544. Will currently net him second, though you'd have to be optimistic to think it'll stay there. Scott Doyle joins us on track along with ACT youngster Mitch Saunderson. Oh, someone sounded flat. Yep, the 8 car has got issues. It went right off the boil, literally just idled down, really hoping it's just a spark issue or something like that for the 8 car. Saunderson will continue on undaunted. 14, make it a 13.989 for Mitch. 13.989, he's second fastest. Well, listen to that thing barking off turn 4. They've got a beautiful growl, speed cars, don't they? He will stay in that P2. His 14.330 is not as quick as his 13.989. Now he gets another lap. I fancy because he may have been impeded when he came up that turn and the 8 car was in his field of view. So I'm thinking that maybe where they're giving him one more lap, which won't hurt this young man out of Canberra. More laps, the better. He's only new to the game. Gee, that thing sounds good, doesn't it? He'll stay in second quick, cannot improve on 13.938. And I know that Drake will be straight down to find out what is the go with the 8 car, because it literally just kind of sounded like it ran out of charge or something down that main straightaway. On track right now is Nathan Smee, and he'll be joined by Jay Waugh. So Smee and the Gary Rook Oak Flat Motorcycles 42 GRD. And Jay Waugh and the Jaden Edge number 11. Let's have a look at Smee's first up lap. It'll take him up to position 3 with a 14.368. And looking at Jay Waugh's fourth, a 14.521. 14.521. So Mitch Saunderson clocks in a 13.938, puts him to quick time while all that was going on. Mitch Saunderson gets a 13.938, takes him to quick time. Dylan Gent is a 13.989. Jay Waugh, 14.278. Nathan Smee, 14.368. Jesse Nicholas, 14.544. And Scott Doyle yet with a time. Brock Webster out of Tasmania, joined by Portland Victoria's Luke Storer. In the Peter Haby Motors, Bill Storer Motors, number 23. Let's have a look at Brock Webster's first up time for the Tasmanian. He goes to 5th, 14.474. 14.474. Luke Storer goes to 3rd, 14.231. Third quick for Storer. No improvement just then. Can Storer improve? No, he cannot. So Storer is currently 3rd fastest, 14.231. Brock Webster is 6th quickest, 14.443. We're about a third of the way through our qualifying order. Intriguing to know if it's a battery issue or something like that for the 8 car of Scott Doyle. I see that Drake is down there sussing out the situation. Reese Burkett joins us on the raceway. Max Bevan in the 68. Burkett kicks her into 3. Just a gorgeous looking piece. Your quick time race shop qualifying sees Burkett currently 8th, 14.615. Max Bevan, 15.053. First time ever in a speed car for him at this place. A rookie in speed cars. Burkett will stay in 8th with that 14.598. And Bevan moves up to ninth with a 14.686. 14.686. Drake, I know you're down there near the 8 car right now. What do you know, if we know anything at all?
Well, the team themselves is still trying to figure out exactly what the issue is, Wade, but they're thinking maybe since their car is running electronic fuel injection, it might be something silly with that, is what they told me. So they're hoping it's a small issue, but still yet to be determined.
Yeah, it was an unusual sound, the way it kind of just died in the rev range coming off 4. Meanwhile, on the racetrack is X-Pac Kiwi Caleb Curry. Got that silver fern down the right-hand side of the car. It's the only way you can spot them apart with McCarthy. He is third quickest, 14.022. 14.022. Payet is fourth, 14.044. Curry stays at third. Can Payet knock him off? Yes, he can. Tom Payet goes to second quick, 13.941. 13.941 is second for Payet. Caleb Curry is fourth, 14.018, but it's still Mitch Saunderson. You don't reckon that team will go off if they can hang on to Quick Time for Quick Time Race Shop. Nick Parker on the speedway. Pushing a little hard into 1 and 2. A bit of a rut forming just there. Mills nailed it perfectly. His entry point very different to Nick Parker's just then. Here comes Parks. See what he can do. Ninth is not his best so far. He'll improve on that. Caleb Mills goes to fifth. 14.116. This will be quicker from Parker, I'm sure. Parker moves up to position 6. 14.208. Caleb Mills stays fifth with 14.116. So Nick Parker, 6th, 14.208. Still haven't seen the best of Nick. We know he's a feature race winner. We know he can get this thing cranking. Craig Smith in the iconic yellow V88. The Smith family, that livery has been getting around since Jesus played fullback for Jerusalem. Out of turn number 2 he runs. Timberlake also on the racetrack right now. Dan Timberlake. Craig Smith is 15th, 15.593. And Timberlake goes to 12th, 14.592. 14.592. Smith will stay in at 15th. Can Timberlake improve? He stays at 12th with a 14.592. Tasmanian Luke Redpath, joined by New South Welshman Jordan Mackay and the DPO number 41. Still Saunderson is your quick time. This will be massive if he can hold on. We've still got Dylan Menz to come who could rain on that parade. Redpath working the backstretch. Likeable little Taswegian. Gasses it off 4. Mackay looks smooth behind him. Redpath goes to 7th, 14.210, but Mackay bumps him. He goes to 6th, 14.181 for Jordan Mackay. Good result for him so far. Can Redpath improve? He does not. Parker, nice job. Mackay, I should say, 14.176. Nice job for Mackay. His best qualifying result in the series so far. Redpath, 14.210. Troy Hose on the racetrack. Big man for a little car, but he can wheel it. They shoehorn him into it. Hosey on the gas in that 57 car. And he'll be joined by the 27 of Connor Ryan. Connor Ryan and Hose jumps up to position 18, 15.834. 15.834 for Hose. Connor Ryan Connor comes in at 19th to 15.800, and Troy Hose at 15.594. They're 18th and 19th respectively. And there are only 2 cars left that could possibly take quick time from A very excited right now and nervous Mitch Saunderson. What a result this would be for his family if he can hold on, but oh my goodness, there's 2 quick cars here.
Do you think Jack McCarthy could be a show to knock off Mitch Saunderson?
Oh, so could Men's.
Yep.
There's a pair of them that are absolute bullets here, Rossi. So a tense time for the Saunderson family. Can they hold on? Just wasn't 100% sure that McCarthy's motor sounded on song. I'm probably proven wrong. Let's have a look at Men's. Where does he go? So Dylan Men's, McCarthy goes to 4th. Oh man, McCarthy!
Oh dear.
Red light on the speedway. Red on the speedway. Men's was 14th at that point with a 14.266. McCarthy had gone to 4th with a 14.007. And dramatically, for the second time in the series, a Hardwire Murphy Motorsport car has gone upside down before we've even got to the heat races. The dude in the black hat gets quick time. My only hope is that he's got the black hat with him in the mule. Wait to see him, mate.
Okay.
Striding around like he owns the Denny Ute Muster. That is a great result. 13.93. Oh, he's got the hat on. You beauty.
There it is.
That is super cool. Drake, you need to put the hat on and see if you can look cool. Well, don't bother. He's the only one that makes that hat work. That is a great result for this family and for this team. Drake, you're going to have a very happy Mitch.
Time qualifier here, night number 3 of Energy Higher WA Pro Speed Car Week, Mitch Saunderson. And Mitch, only second-year racing speed cars, rather, and you come out to an event like this, the best in the country come around, and you get quick time. I know it's not a race win, but how big is this in your young career so far in speed cars?
Yeah, it is pretty massive to be going quick time against some of the guys here. We struggled in both our heats the last 2 nights, but we're pretty good in the features, so it's really good to have this quick pace early.
I was standing down towards where you were parked on the backstretch with a couple cars left, and you could kind of start to feel the tension in there. What was that like, especially when you got really good guys like Dylan Menz was coming after you at the end? What was that like, just sitting there waiting to see if your lap would hold on?
Yeah, I was just waiting for that thumbs up from you, Drake. It was probably the happiest moment of my weekend.
Well, that's good that I made your weekend. But the big question is, going in these heat races, obviously if you transfer straight in the feature event, you're going to start on the pole position of the feature event. And talking to all the drivers at the pit area, they say, hey, look, we really have to make it straight out of the heat races to make the feature event, especially for you who's got that pole position on the line. How stressful is this heat race going to be for you from starting 4th?
Yeah, I'll just come into every heat race trying to move forward. Hopefully we do lock into that A main, and that gets us in that top 6. The last 2 nights have proven that if you're in that top 6, you'll finish somewhere up the front.
Mitch Saunderson with their Quick Time Race Shop Quick Time Qualifier Award here on night number 3 of Energy Higher WA Pro Speed Car Week. What a moment for this young driver and team, Wade.
Region of the raceway only. Just scratching the top and the bottom part of the racetrack. Speed Cars Australia bringing you heat number 1 of round 3 of the Energy Higher WA Pro Speed Car Week, brought to you.
Are you sure it was a fly?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
The Dragonfly. They're all pretty big here. Nathan Smee fires up into 42. I did see a very frustrated and sort of hurried looking Scott Doyle earlier on. Drake, you were saying to me, as you pointed out, with that EFI fuel system on the car, they were hoping that they had managed to solve the problems for the A car they suffered in qualifying.
Yeah, Wade, and I just talked to them just a minute ago, and still not the case. They don't know exactly what's wrong on that Q8 car, so unlikely we'll see them out here for a heat race, but hopefully for a dash later on.
We'll take a look at your lineup here in just a moment. Thank you very much, TBB. Luke Redpath will line up on the pole, or Uncle Broom Broom, as he's called by his nephew and niece down in Sassafras, tuning in. Tamika and the kids are down there watching. Brooke's probably watching as well. All the Reddies are probably watching down there. They're a very close family. The 10V of Caleb Mills lines up on your outside front row, and the 10V inside your second row. It's a 46N, it's a 46Q, I think, but it's registered as a 46N. Dylan Menz and Mitch Saunderson. Quick time. Lines up out of position number 4. His mum is still screaming down there in the pits. Nathan Smee lines up out of 5 in the 42N. Dan Timberlake joins us in the 14V. Craig Smith, welcome back. Good to have him here in the 88V. And Connor Ryan in the 27V. 8 cars, Heat 1, brought to you by Speed Cars Australia. And Redpath, in the Redpath Haulage, number 10 car. I can't think of a better shape for speed car racing, Drake York, than this joint. It's just got a little bit of everything, doesn't it?
It really does, and you take a look at the wideness in turns 1 and 2, and we talk about the uphill and downhill elevation. It's going to be a lot for these speed car drivers to navigate here over the course of 3 heat races, starting off with Speed Car Australia, heat race number 1.
Brendan Palmer told me from Queensland, mate, he was fairly drunk last night on you, so he said you're to blame. Just so you know, people really are playing. Green flag is on. Away goes Caleb Mills. Boy, Saunderson's got some confidence. He rips to P2. Redpath tries to come back with him, and you've got Menz buying into that 4-car argument for the race lead. Up the hill, and the angry avocado we go. Mills, your leader, upstairs. Ready, working the bottom side. Saunderson has a noticeable swagger since setting quick time. His confidence is up. He got over the edge of the racetrack. Boy, that was probably more good luck than good management. He held the thing pinned, managed to rocket through to P2. Redpath trying to come back at him to put the slider, as we see Menz running about mid-groove, keeping the flow of the car through 3 and 4. We're going to go caution on the racetrack. I fancy it will be Timberlake. Drake, I'm guessing you were probably looking at the 3-car like I was. He kind of got up in the marbles, but he stayed on it, and the car drove hard left across. I don't think it was a move he necessarily meant, but thankfully it was clear racetrack.
Yeah, thankfully, Luke Redpath barely skated past the ACT number 3 of Mitch Saunderson, and you talked about it, Wade. This young driver driving with the utmost of confidence right now. And you look at the 2 drivers at the front of the field, very young, I wouldn't want to call them inexperienced, but you look at guys like Luke Redpath or Nathan Smee running right behind him, not nearly as experienced. It's fun to watch these 2 young gunslingers go at it already here in Speed Car Australia heat race number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to have the last couple of years over in New Zealand and also in the US, and has great backing from Justin Inslee from King Chassis. We're good to go. Green flag is up. Resumption of hostilities. 8 to go. Heat 1 of Pro Speed Car Week. Energy High WA and Rondelli Steel Fabrication presenting round 3 at the Ave. Smee rockets by Menz. Saunderson coming after Caleb Mills. A couple of the young bucks of speed car racing going 1 and 2. Smee, the veteran, running the lower side. Menz trying to carry the momentum out of 2. Saunderson and Mills running the top beautifully into 3. Saunderson closing in here. Really starting to pick the momentum up. Certainly been a surge in confidence for this young man as long as he measures it and keeps it within his reins. And he's awfully close a couple times to the wall. So maybe just maybe a 9/10 rather than 11/10 at the moment. We're going to go yellow again. I think it's the Connor 27 this time.
Almost the same spot too. As
Timberlake before.
Dan Timberlake, yeah.
Now is that
been represented well over the years with Chase driving, and especially I remember being around Chase when they had the Bush's Chicken Midget when he was in USAC National Midget Racing. So always well represented in racing, but still on the bucket list to do in Texas.
He doesn't eat chicken on race day. That's their one superstition. So he owns a couple of Bush's Chicken franchises, but he won't eat chicken on race day. We're back underway. 5 laps to go. Saunderson really coming. Now look at Redpath. He's gone upstairs and he's got a bit more room to wiggle. They're all upstairs except for Smee. Nathan Smee, the veteran, running the gutter and starting to get some momentum there. Dylan Menz does not have the speed yet I thought he would have in the 46. I think the quicker way is around the top if you've got the Rundle Mauls to do it. Out of 4, still Caleb Mills, Mitch Saunderson, Luke Redpath, now Smee side by side as Menz. Dylan Menz starting to wind up the 46 car. All the cows wandering off in the distance over the back straightaway, and we're yellow again. And it's the 14 car, I think, of Timberlake.
Type of car before.
3 laps to go. Drake York on the infield here. We get set and we launch. Caleb drops it to the bottom. Redpath, Luke Redpath wheels it in on the gutter and he's got a bit of groove. The Tasmanian, he made it stick a bit better then. Saunderson goes down low. Men's upstairs. Wheel stand from Mitch Saunderson. He's starting to enjoy this. The man in the black hat. Men's around the outside of Redpath. Had to shut the momentum off. The track narrows up, getting into turn 3. White flag is out. Great to have your company on Clay Per View. And likewise, here at the venue, the beautiful little HB stock feeds. Simpson Speedway. Men's having a crack at Redpath. Mills will drive away in the end. Saunderson will hang on for second, but only just Men's, I think. Dylan Men's got third. 4th was Luke Redpath. 5th was Nathan Smee. Back to Craig Smith and Connor Ryan. In the end, Caleb Mills actually drove away. Did you catch the wheel stand from Saunderson, Drake, coming out of 4? That was cool.
He's the new John Laws.
I know, it's got a very... It kind of weirded me out the first time we did it. Like, where is that deep voice coming from? Mobile 1. I got you, TPP. Presenting heat number 2. He's got a brand new car coming, I think he told me, Hosey. So they're currently just doing what they're doing here until that changes with the new car. I really love, if you get a tight shot of the 36 and the outside second row, it's very old school. And to Drake, to use a part of your world, it's very SoCal to me. Cole's right with the geography. Woohoo! I'll just get this right and the series will finish. Tommy Payette looking lively out of 4, drops to the inside. Picks up 3rd, picks up 2nd. Looking to pick up the lead in half a lap, the Buddha. Large and in charge out of 4. Storer coming back at him. Storer, we got trouble, it's Hose. We're going to go yellow. Troy Hose. I think Troy is wearing a part of his anatomy is his earrings in that car because he is awfully intimate.
Wow, his belly button.
Well, just Clay Per View. Here we go. Back underway. It's a complete restart, which really hurt Payette, Storer, and no start. No start. So we'll go back to yellow. So, gee, Tommy got a much better start the first leach. Storer and Mackay, as Tyler Barton is wrecking the joint up here. He's kicking the chairs around, and it's a high-pressure environment up here at Simpson.
Well, now that you've told him he's got a deep voice, he's just
It
going.
was quite amazing. Mobile One sponsoring this.
Yeah.
So again we go. Needs to get back in his race car. Mobile One present heat number 2. Come on, boys. Let's get it on. Payette upstairs. Will he get the same run? Story, your leader, Mackay. Payette slide job up to P3. Wow, look at Brock Webster in the purple 91T. Payette to the bottom. Slide job right then as well on the 6 car of Jack McCarthy. Neat little battle going on for 4th right now too. You got Mackay, you got Webster, then Burkett and Hose. Meanwhile off turn 4, oh man, Webster and Mackay nearly got together in turn 4 as Payette and McCarthy get after it. Seems like turn 4, with the way it narrows up, really catches people off guard. Your leader, and substantially, is Luke Storer. Has absolutely gapped them. McCarthy down in the gutter trying to keep the moisture going as Payette winds up the 7 car to run into turn 3. Webster right in behind Mackay again. That is the battle going past our flag stand right there. Webster drops to the inside, picks up the move nicely. Mackay will come back. Jordan Mackay. Payette is starting to run down McCarthy again, but the slide jobs between Webster and Mackay. Now Payette looking to pick off second place. Drifts up track. McCarthy will come back at him. Such a fun racetrack. Back to the gutter goes Payette. McCarthy to the top. 3 to go. I love this little joint, Rusty.
Yeah, it's got something about it, absolutely. This is still a great little battle going on between Tom Payette and Jack McCarthy.
Well, that's the beauty of it. You got two distinct grooves.
Yes.
As McCarthy ran very, very high into turn 1 and 2 just then, but Luke Storer has absolutely devastated this field. This thing is an absolute bullet down the back straightaway with 1.5 to go. He sets up the lap passing maneuver on Hose. He set it up in Colac. Ran it through beautifully. 1 to go for Mobile One. And Tommy Payette is a distant second with Jack McCarthy. What a devastating drive. Luke Storer.
Has he got this track sorted for a setup or what?
And he's good like this at most of the events we've been to.
Yep.
Got a lot of talent. Beautiful little race car. And got some big international plans coming up very soon that Drake will allude to as well. But that was a dominating performance. Jay Wall will line up on your pole in the 11N. Save us from ourselves. Position 2 is Nick Parker. I'm waiting for that dominant heat race performance. This might be the one. Caleb Curry in the 6E entry. Alongside Dylan Gent. Quick time for this group. He did very well in the 3V. Jesse Nicholas, great to have him back in the 7V. And Max Bevan, youngster, in the 68N, with Scott Doyle not making an appearance in this, but hopefully later, as you alluded to before, Darake.
Scott Doyle actually did come out, Wade. He just pulled to the infield just a few moments ago, so still issues on the QA.
Dang it. We're green. Parker. Look at Dylan Gent go to the top. Can he make it work on the outside? Parker, your leader, but we're yellow, which is the shirt you were wearing when I saw you the other day. You need to get a yellow, 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 or a Drake Yorkism shirt made, mate, like Gavin White has.
Yeah.
Anytime you can roll in with that, it kind of puts you in the next level. Oh, this soup is good.
Could almost play Drake York Bingo.
Oh, yeah, he would have. I'm sure he's heard of Classic Bingo.
Yeah.
We talked about it. It's going to be a Drake York Bingoism for sure. That could be a shirt, Drake. That could be your shirt. You can make a lot of money with a We Talked About It shirt.
Yes.
Or not. Are you shaking your head?
Oh.
We're green. War. Got a good little launch. Gent go to the top. Nicholas very slick into 1 and 2. Caleb Curry, the New Zealander, making his way onto the left rear of Nick Parker. Your leader is Jay War. Technically, we've got 2 expat Kiwis and a Victorian. Look at Dylan Gent running the top. I feel like the top is quicker as a general rule, but Parker puts the slide job on War. We were waiting for this. Slide jobs were going to be a thing, and now they are. Parker to the top. War will make the bottom work. Curry watching all this play out in front. Out of 4. Curry trying to get by War. Nick Parker looking like the driver we expect around this place. Curry peppering away at War. Throws the slider in. At least you can see the slider coming at this place. There's so much room. Curry returns serve on War. The 2 of them are going at it. War trying to make it stick out of 2 on the top. Curry's got him covered. Parker driving away. 3/4 of the main straightaway lead. War going back to the top. I feel like 1 and 2 it's better on the top, but 3 and 4 has a little bit of bite down low if you put the slider in. 4 laps remaining. Nick Parker all the way. Once again, Curry going to the bottom to try and grab the moisture while War has to go upstairs. He can't stay in the same groove or he won't make up any ground. Nothing to be gained from doing that. 3 to go. Once again, War upstairs on the cushion. Gets the momentum rolling now. Does he go for the slider? No. He's got 2 laps to go. He has to time it right. Ripping battle between these 2. The expat Kiwis, Curry and War. 1.5 to go. Does he pull the trigger here? No, he pulled back to run low off the turn. Not going to get the momentum there. I don't think he's going to get this now. Curry goes back to the bottom. And that might be all she wrote. Strong drive from Nick Parker. He will get the win. Nice job from Caleb Curry in second, Jay Waugh third. Back to Dylan Gent. We then go back to Jesse Nicholas and Max Bevan. It's one of the real beauties of speed car racing. Slide jobs, and you can see the momentum literally swapping backwards and forwards depending on which groove you're using.
And that's something we see here at Hatesbury Stockfeed's Simpson Speedway quite a lot, especially here in the speed cars. I'll make sure the sign is upright this time for Nick Parker. The PMT Racing entry. Of course, a driver out of Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. Always a contender here, especially during Energy Hire WA Pro Speed Car Week. Let's get it out for us. You can stay in there, bud.
Well, you got to love that kind of commitment, though, Drake.
Yeah, I admire the commitment. I admire the effort of our Beretta Racing race number 3 winner, Nick Parker. Was a contender here last year. Of course, last night, not exactly what he was hoping for. He was outside the top 10, shuffled him all the way back to 4th in points. But he's still going to be a contender for this championship, especially if he has another good run here at Simpson tonight. It'll set him up real nicely to head to Sun Gold Stadium Premier Speedway tomorrow down in Warrnambool. And Nick, last night wasn't really what you were hoping for at all, but you already bettered where you're going to start in the feature event, and you've always had such good speed here at Simpson. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Caleb Mills. Is tonight all about getting back on the horse for this championship fight?
100%. We're still in the hunt, and we've got a bit of unfinished business. I think one of our strongest tracks, and we've got the most data and experience here out of all the other tracks we've run at. So, yeah, it was great just to snag a heat win finally, and yeah, put us in a good spot for the future. So, looking forward to it.
I have to imagine that second place in the standings last year in this series kind of ate at you for the whole 12 months that we were away from this series. So how motivating is that to be second in the series last year to maybe pick up the title this year?
100%. Massive motivation to win it. Was never really satisfied with second. We're very happy for the team, but this year we're here to win it. So we're going to give it our all, and hopefully, you know, we can snag her up on top.
Nick Parker gets your win in Beretta Racing Chassis Heat Race number 3, and as you heard him said, first heat race win of the week for the V39.
It's cool too that he Beretta Racing Chassis Heat Race in a Beretta Racing Chassis. Wingless. Then you see that? Almost put the tailgate down. They drove into the back of the pace car. It kind of feels like a B main, but it's not, because when you look at guys on the front row like we've got here, McCarthy and Menz, there's no way they're in a B main, but they got some work to do. Uphill we run. Nathan Smee into that third spot, make that the second spot. Menz, he manages to pin it around the top, but Smee comes rocketing back on the low groove. McCarthy upstairs out of turn 4. Menz trying to round back up on Smee. Just saw Nicholas on the back wheels as well. There's still plenty of moisture out there, though there is some slick grooves to slide.
Yeah, the track crew did a really good job of prepping this racetrack, leaving the slick spots where they need to be slick and adding grip where they need to add grip. Up front, it's last night's winner, Jack McCarthy, and he's going to be buried. Even if he wins this, he'll start 7th if they finish the way they run right now. McCarthy, Smee, Menz, Redpath, and Nicholas round out the top 5 as they come off. Turn number 4 to click lap number 2 away.
Nicholas very nearly made contact with Luke Redpath in that 10. It was awfully close out of turn 2. Meanwhile, your race leader. Now, this is starting to look a little bit like Caleb Curry's first night. When you think about that, Caleb got upside down at Portland, then came rocketing back through this very race, and in the end, picked himself up a 3rd spot in Portland. So last night's feature race winner, Jack McCarthy, rolled over in his qualifying, came back out. Now we find him in the B-dash, and look at the top with Menz. I fancy there's still some speed up there, but it's always a shorter way around on the bottom like Smee.
Yeah, McCarthy getting some valuable notes ahead of tonight's feature event, and let's not forget those Hardwire Murphy Motorsports cars tied for the lead in Energy Hire WA Pro Speed Car Week points. And obviously he's on the back foot a little bit with his teammate already locked into the big dance, but Nathan Smee, we saw him roll the bottom to a lot of success last year here during this event. He seems like he's got the same setup on it, albeit different frame on that car.
Here comes Menz, trying to make amends and get himself up into P2. Remember, that takes him a row forward Smee is on the bottom. He may get held up a bit by the lap car. Look at Menz. They're both catching McCarthy. Substantial inroads being made here on our race leader. Menz stays up top. Look at Smee on the bottom. The wily veteran. 1 lap remaining. Look at Menz. Dylan Menz winding it up on the top. What a run from him if he can make this stick. Smee back to the bottom. Menz doesn't quite have the bite coming off 4. He may get second. No! What a finish that was.
And that's just a taste, Wade. Jack McCarthy gets the win in Speedway Australia Dash number 1. He'll start 7th in tonight's feature event. Nathan Smee.
If he does, expect him to make up some ground. It's been a miserable night for him. He hasn't really fired a lap in anger. He's on the main straightaway here now. I feel like if that thing gets going, he's going to make up some ground.
Yeah.
And hit the pace car.
Hit the pace car?
Oh, yeah, you hit everything else. I wanted you to be perfect, Drake. Here we go. Turn 3 and 4, about to let him loose. 10 laps on the board. B-2. Jay Wall got a ripping start up the inside. Look at Webster working the top. The Tasmanian running with Mackay. They're side by side and nearly made contact down into 3. Mackay super sideways. I think we can work out for... Oh, there was contact just then. Boy, that was really close. That was with Burkett. The 2 New South Welshmen made contact. Meanwhile, War. I think what you got to do, Drake, is stay out of the middle. That's just slick and there's nothing to grab a hold of.
And Jay War showing us the bottom side is good. Remember, last year he charged all the way towards the front, almost got past Caden Brown at the end of last year's race here at Simpson. And remember, we talked about it a little bit earlier that, of course, they were not very happy with that setup on the Cool Motorsports N11, but they're making strides in it, and you can see it right here in the Speedway Australia Dash. Brock Webster, Wade, you talked about it a little bit earlier. The high side is definitely coming in turns 1 and 2, and Webster trying to keep that car wound up on the high side of 3 and 4. He's got second as they come to the start-finish line.
Momentum on the top, particularly here in 1 and 2. 3 and 4, maybe not so much. Oh, Gent made the bottom work beautifully then. 5 to go for Jay War. Gent glued to the bottom. Nice little battle behind. We just saw sparks off the rear of Jordan Mackay's car. It's hard to know where to look. There's 2 battle packs going on. Dylan Gent and Brock Webster. Oh, he drifted up track. This is one of the better drives I've seen from Brock Webster.
And let's not forget, too, he hasn't raced in 2.5 years before Pro Speed Car Week started. It's like he never left. He's been pretty competitive all Energy Hire WA Pro Speed Car Week long as he's ripping the fence off the 3 and 4. Definitely not afraid of the high scary side, and just as I say that, he ducks back to the bottom in turns 1 and 2. But massive lead for Jay War, almost 1.5 seconds as he comes by to complete another lap.
Burkett running the top side as he tries to chase down Jordan Mackay. Reese upstairs in that beautiful Dominator engines. Burkett racing entry. 1 to go. And I'm looking at Doyle. Car does not seem at all well. Nowhere near the speed that we've come to expect from him. War looking to wrap this one up. He goes to the bottom, doing a bit of R&D, goes back to the top. Webster, who's really made some ground the last couple of laps. Checker will come out. Good job for Jay War. Second, really good drive from Brock Webster. He got away from Dylan Gent in the end. Wholesale improvements for him. Jordan Mackay will get 4th. 5th will be Reese Burkett. Back to Scott Doyle, Craig Smith, and Dan Timberlake. Jay War, a confidence-boosting win in dash number 2. And he will start from position number 8 in tonight's main. Webster from 10, Gent from 12, Mackay 14, Burkett 16th, Doyle 18, and 20th will be Smith. We'll only have 20 cars, and that will be plenty. getting stuff sorted. I like it when he throws a tanty. I like it. Throws the toys out of the cot. He's back. Storming into the Speedway gas station. There we go. That looks better. Mitch Saunderson will line up on your pole. What a moment for this young man. And his girlfriend, his name, you know his girlfriend's name?
No.
Possum.
Oh,
Possum. He's got Mum and Auntie Belinda and all the team working on that car tonight. They're all very excited. Tommy Payette will line up on the outside front row. This is Tommy's best chance at a Pro Speed Car Week main event win. Caleb Mills already doing better than he did last time here at this circuit. Good to see him adapting so well. In the 10V, he'll line up at a 3. From 4, it's New Zealander, born South Australian domiciled, Caleb Curry. Inside your third row, driving the 39V, it's Nick Parker in the Beretta. Position number 6, driving the 23V, it's Portland's Luke Storer. He's a chance for a win here as well. Position number 7, a man who always wants the dirt vacuumed out of the seat before he sits down in it. And I'm not joking. Doesn't like to have too much dirt in the seat, does Jack McCarthy. Position number 8, I only found that out before myself. Jay Waugh in the 11N lines up out of position number 8. From 9, it's the 42N of Nathan Smee. And from 10, it's the yoga enthusiast from Tasmania, Brock Webster. Well, let me just tell you, there's a yoga mat in that truck, and I didn't see Brock use it once, so I'm pretty sure it's not his. Dylan Menz lines up out of 11 in the 46N, and Dylan Gent lines up out of 12 in the 3V. Jesse Nicholas lines up out of 13 in the 7X, alongside the 41N of Jordan Mackay. Position 15, driving the 10T, is Luke Redpath, and position 16, driving the 36N, Reese Burkett. Position 17, doing a nice job in his rookie season. It's a very deep swimming pool and he's paddling along well. Maxie Bevan in the 86N. Scott Doyle openly admitted he just can't get his head around turn 3 and 4 in the 8Q. And your final row of the grid is Warrnambool's 57V of Troy Hose and the 88V of Craig Smith. And I notice we are scratching the bottom and the top of, nothing wrong with scratching the bottom and the top of the racetrack here tonight, Drake. So the hey diddle diddle, the middle will not be the place to be.
No, that's going to be absolute no man's land. If you're new to speedway racing or dirt racing in general, that middle with that blue groove, it's like driving on ice. You get a great view of it there on Clay Per View. The darker parts of the racetrack where they just scratched and are currently watering, that's where you're going to want to be. And talking to a couple people back in the pit area, everyone's kind of eyeing the bottom side of turn number 2. Once it gets ran in, it's got a good little drive. Funny enough, Wade, even though the tracks are nowhere near similar, it kind of reminds me of the Thunder Bowl Raceway in California, where you can kind of like roll the bottom off of turn number 2, and then it really doesn't kick in until you get halfway down the straightaway. So that's going to be interesting to watch, and it's always interesting for these teams. Honestly, Wade, I would have to imagine, I haven't talked to a whole lot of mechanics tonight, but considering the different track conditions we had all night at Portland and Borderline, this has to be one of the easier nights, I'd imagine, to see one of these speed cars where the conditions slowly evolve into what they're going to turn into the feature event. But let's take a quick look at your Energy Hire WA Pro Speed Car Week points headed into tonight here at Heytesbury Stock Feeds Simpson Speedway. A tie at the top coming in between the two Hardwire Murphy Motorsports cars of Jack McCarthy and Caleb Curry. They both came in with 568 points. Caleb Mills lurking back in third, Nick Parker fourth, Dylan Menz rounding out the top 5. Luke Storer, Jay Ward, Tom Payette, Scott Doyle, and Mitch Saunderson rounded out your top 10 headed into the penultimate round here tonight at Simpson Speedway.
This whole place kind of reminds me more of an American-style racetrack, to be honest, and probably a weird thing to say, but it kind of reminds me a bit of a late model track, kind of like a place you'd find down in Kentucky or somewhere like that, where it's got that nice little high bank sort of saucer shape, and I can imagine late models ripping around a place like this, to be quite honest with you.
Well, we've spoken into existence. It might happen.
Well, I would love to see late models. I don't know, Rossi, do you get late models down here very often?
Only on the odd occasion we've had them. Yeah.
They would be wicked around here at an elite level. They're not an easy car to race, so when you get guys that are really good, like the World of Outlaws late model guys or the Lucas Oil late model series, boy, those guys would be wild around here. Waiting to see Luke Redpath to push away. He does so out of Sassafras in Tasmania. That is one place, Drake, you need to get to Tasmania. It is just a beautiful part of the world. Fantastic coffee, fantastic chocolates, a lot of strawberry farms and stuff like down there. Very old world. The internet is a little slow down there, but that's one of the charms of it. People are friendly. There's a great speedway industry down there. And the Redpaths, they're kind of like the Kinzers of Tasmanian Speedway. They've done so much in the industry. So if you ever get a chance, mate, get on the plane or get on the boat and go down and have a look.
Yeah, and you mentioned Luke Redpath, kind of that family as a whole, kind of the Kinzers of Tasmania. And you look at just Luke's stats, I mean, quite impressive to say the least. He's got a long way to go tonight, starting all the way back in the 15th position. He's the first person to tell you they're a little bit underpowered, but very accomplished in Tasmania. 3-time Tasmanian wingless sprint car champion, and won the speed car title there back in 2018 and had a really good go of it last year here during Energy Hire WA Pro Speed Car Week. Was 7th in the points as the field begins to form up. Mitch Saunderson talked to him briefly back in the pit area before the cars were called to staging. He said he's nervous, but he's keen. That's all he had to say.
Well, nervous but keen, NBK, it kind of works for you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I know you're settled in for the night. You're probably nice and comfy on the blanket. But we're about to split them and go 4 wide. And look at that impressive field. So I would really love it in a moment if you stretch those legs and get up off the blanket or up out of your seat in a moment. It's nice and comfy, but these guys aren't nice and comfy. And they're about to completely rock it for you. So it's a simple show of respect from the drivers to you, the fans, and back when we go 4 wide. So I want to ask wherever you are around the grounds here at Hastbury Stockfeed Simpson Speedway, even if you're home, get out of the recliner, off the couch, maybe stop the car, stand next to the car. We want you to be part of it. Come on, Simpson, get up on your feet, please, and make some noise for your 4 wide here in round 3, second last round of the Energy High WA Pro Speed Car Week, presented tonight by Rondelli Steel Fabrications. 4 wide. Yes, we salute you from the Pro Speed Car Week. Boy, there are so many possibilities on this one. I got to think that Buddha has his eye on the prize tonight, Drake. I just feel that's the best we've seen Payette qualify. It's the best that team has really been, and Brad Fat Rat Steele needs a fun trip back across the Nullarbor with that truck at some point. They've got the Aussie title coming up soon as well, but I think that he's going to be hard to beat, Payette.
He sure is, and you talk about clash of states here in Australia. You got a driver from Canberra, ACT on the inside, Perth, Western Australia on the outside. You got one Kiwi in the field. Everybody from a little bit of everywhere as the pace truck ready to dive down in the infield, getting ready to go for 30 long ones here at Simpson Speedway for night number 3 of Energy Hire WA Pro Speed Car Week.
We go to Premier Speedway, Warrnambool for the final. Oh, trouble. No, it's a reserve pulling in. Let's get dirty for 30. Saunderson leads him down into 1. Payette goes to the bottom. Look at him work the slick. Mills through. Parker looking racy as well. Out of 4. No, Parker lost the handle. And they all got through that. We talked about the middle. To use your term, we talked about the middle being not the place you wanted to be. They tickled the top, they tickled the bottom, and that left Slick through the middle. And that's what Nick just found out. The
Mitch
Slick
Saunderson,
got Nick.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Wade, but Mitch Saunderson figured out lap 1, turn 1. Him and Payette got racing pretty hard before they even made it to the corner. It looked like it would have been disaster, but Mitch Saunderson gets another chance here on the front row as we did not get a lap completed. There's Nick Parker, and he really needed a good night. He came into the night 4th in speed car points. As we're going to get a look here on
he just lost the handle on it. Just got into the middle on the slick here. And look at that. Just snapped around right on that black strip there. And fortunately, nobody got him. These guys, of course, in speed car racing, it's very rare that you 360 one of these things. They just don't allow you with the compression and situation like that. You'll get a 270 out of them, but you'll rarely keep the motor running So Nick will go to the back. It's going to be a long drive from back there. Lights go out. 30 laps. Penultimate round of the Energy Hire WA Pro Speed Car Week, brought to you by Rondelli Steel Fabrication. Thanks to Brad Dent and all of his family. Green flag is aloft. Let's get dirty for 30.
Back into turn one. Let's see if Saunderson learned from his mistake. He glues the bottom, Payette on the high side by side, and look at the drive off the bottom side of the speedway. Young Mitch Saunderson leads him into 3.
Watching McCarthy and Curry in this as well. Boy, Mills running the extreme low side. Back in that second spot, it's Caleb, Curry. Mills and Curry side by side. McCarthy and Payette side by side. Just watching Elliston come through as well in the 7 alongside Jay Waugh. Then right up the top is Redpath, and he's got Nathan Smee. Well, we just saw Mills go through the middle, and he got eaten alive. He got to stay out of that black strip.
Saunderson got hung out in the slick there in 3 and 4. That's going to open up the door for Curry. He shoots the outside through 1 and 2. Saunderson in the slick move. Curry to the lead is caution on the speedway. Dylan Gent is slow on the front stretch. That's Scott Doyle in turn number 3. Hosey slowed down the front straightaway as well. And again, Mitch Saunderson's going to get saved by the yellow.
Wade, you mentioned Todd Waddell. Well, Todd Waddell raced here in 2004 in the second ever Australian Junior Sedan Championship and won the event here. So he knows Simpson. A little bit different to how it is now, but
Todd can do anything too. He's pretty handy in all sorts of things. I think he even did a bit of drag racing as well. Great character. Rocks the Dirty Mo. All right. This time, are we good to go? Are we lined up? I love that idle sound when they roll around. Speed cars have got such a unique note, that burble, and then that bark and that cackle. So Saunderson, how good is this kid doing right now? He's only about 17 years of age, and the family are absolutely pumped for him. He's doing a nice job. Curry lurking behind him. He doesn't want to let him get away on the start, and he didn't. Mills in third. Curry goes straight to the top. McCarthy goes to the bottom. McCarthy off the bottom like a rocket. Curry to the top. Squares up midway through the corner. Saunderson with 27 to go. Boy, don't look behind you, mate. It is all hardwire.
Yeah, if he had a rear view mirror, all he would see is yellow and purple chasing him down. Saunderson, though, on the bottom side of the speedway, he's going to have to be picture perfect. Wheel stand. McCarthy got the front end up in the air. Saunderson hung out in the slick. Here comes Curry on the top side. They're going to be side by side down the backstretch, and Curry takes the lead into turn number 3. They're going to see 25 to go this time at the flag stand, Wade.
Whoa, big slide job, and he got the wall. I think it was Storer, and we got trouble more in turn 3 and 4. I think that was Luke Storer. Threw a monumental slider and got the wall coming out of 4. Gent is caught up there with Mackay. The DPO entry in the men's motorsport Toyota. Boy, Storer just threw a bomb into turn 3. Now again, the yellow comes back to possibly help Mitch Saunderson here. Did they get the whole lap in?
It doesn't look like they did. He's still showing up as the leader on timing and scoring. So Mitch Saunderson, at the moment, we believe has gotten a couple Christmas presents. But we'll have to wait and see how they score this. Let's see what we can tell here from our Clay-Per-View replay. So the cars involved in the accident were Mackay and Menz. So they're back here a little bit.
Watch this for a slider.
Woo!
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. And then he about smokes the fence right there. He does smoke the fence. And in the background, you see Menz. But Saunderson Racing, Total Traction Solutions, Kelly Body Works, ACT number 3. But he's got a whole lot of yellow and purple lined up directly behind him, Wade, as we come to the restart.
Caleb Curry peeling out the quick times. We're back underway. What a test for this teenager. Quite incredible. He got a ripping start that time. Curry goes back to the high groove. Payette starting to get some momentum going, but so too on the inside. Dylan Gent looking racy. So is Waugh, I should say. So it's Jay Waugh on the inside in the 11. Oh, man, we got one into the wall. And I think it's Curry. Curry got the wall hard, if it was, in fact, Caleb. got in too high into turn one. It tagged the wall, got perpendicular, and it barrel rolled into turn 1 and 2.
He's on the outside, going into turn number 1. Oh, it's almost like it went straight.
It sort of looked like maybe it might have broken something, maybe, because it didn't really, he didn't get a chance to get it sideways, did he? We'll go back and, now again, we're talking about a pay-per-view replay that you guys at the stadium can't see, so I apologize about that.
I mean, he gets it sideways, but at that point, he's in the rough stuff and he's already in the fence.
Give there for you. It's all bottom. 25 to run, Drake. Here we go. What can this young man do out in front? He's to keep a cool head. Mitch Saunderson.
He's got a lot of breaks his way already. We'll see if he can hold off the rest of the field. Everyone at the bottom except Mills. Mills to the high side. But here comes McCarthy. McCarthy looks to the inside in turn number 3. Saunderson bounces her through the holes, but he's got a good lead as they head down the front stretch. Here's Jay Ward for second, one of the best here in recent memory when it comes to running the bottom side of the speedway. He might pick off McCarthy, and he does down the back straightaway.
Very wise. Head on the shoulders of Jay Ward. Caleb Mills continuing to run the top. Payette does not look comfortable in that car right now. Mills back around the top. The watching Storer now. Elliston, I think it is. Rocking on there as well. So just watching it is. Look at Mills. Back around the top. Payette. Can he get some rhythm? You know they'll be working those shocks at this point as well, Drake, trying to dial these cars in.
Absolutely, and Payette being one of the more experienced drivers in the field, he could have an advantage when it comes to dialing himself in. Mills is not giving up on the high side, but he might have to, as there goes Payette. Payette into fourth.
No!
Everybody, and he almost tips it over. Drama in turn number 4. Your leader, Mitch Saunderson, around pirouettes and comes to rest on all 4 with 21 laps to go. And can you say heartbreak?
He nearly kept that thing going. That's the bizarre part of that. Wow. It was Jesse Nicholas doing a great job as well in that pulse, number 7. He's been very consistent, but Mitch, the European judges, giving him a 9 for the pirouette. That thing stood up on its back legs like a dog begging for a biscuit, and unfortunately it didn't keep the momentum when it came back down. It had already stalled. Hopefully it restarts. We can have a look on our pay-per-view replay to show you he just lost the handle on it. He stayed on it, gave it a big boot full. It stood up on the back wheels and pirouetted. You know what? Oh,
the tank. Yeah. Yep, and he's already
the tank
been fired off, but I'm sure the stewards will have a look at it. I believe the tank came loose on the landing. Let's watch it again. Oh, that was just mud. So the tank's all good. False alarm. Yeah, I saw a lot of flapping back there, and it.
Well, I thought the crash bar was going to come apart, but it stayed on there.
Yeah,
so
that
if we
mud.
look at the back of the, if we get a shot of the back of it, this is what we're going to look at right now on our screen. Any damage? Look at that. The Nerf bar around the fuel cell is perfectly intact. Oh my giddy aunt! Now he's at the back of the bus. He's just got to settle and pick his way through the cars that he can and keep a cool head. We're green. All of a sudden, Jay Ward is your leader. Caleb Mills again looking to the top. Tom Payette trying to haul them in. You got Smee. Look at Parker now coming back around the top as well. Nick Parker. Now he's starting to get running as well. Look at him on the top side.
Yeah, Parker seems really dialed into the high side of the speedway. Mills, slowly but surely, the top's coming around. You see Parker going forward. Mills is getting good drive off of each and every corner, too. He just got past Payette, and he's closing in on the back bumper of McCarthy. He swings high through turns 1 and 2. Let's see what kind of run he gets down the back stretch. McCarthy with a little bit of a bobble, and here comes Mills. Drives it hard and heavy into 3 and 4, making some speed on the high side. He might get second to the line, and he does.
Webster starting to come on the top side as well. So too is Parker. This racetrack is perfect right now. You've got a groove on the top and a groove on the bottom. Nothing through the middle, but that's okay. Warp, McCarthy, Mills, Payette, and now Parker. I reckon Nick Parker might be the fastest car on the racetrack. The 39 Beretta back upstairs. Elliston on the bottom. Webster's there with him as well. And meanwhile, Jay War is driving away from them.
Jay War off the bottom side of turn number 1 continues to hold steady by a couple of car lengths, but Mills slowly but surely started to figure out the top. Big drama on the backstretch. It looks like that's Luke Redpath, and a tire bouncing down the racetrack towards the infield. We go yellow.
So Luke unfortunately got into the wall in turn 2, and we still have 16 to go. Boy, what a race. Retrospect, you see Tommy Payette running the bottom, Parker running the rails, Jesse Nicholas doing a great job in that 7, and Brock Webster too, starting to come on the outside of the 91. And we still have 16 to go.
Interesting to note, Wade, a couple of drivers mentioned to me today that the heat race was paramount to get into that top 2, lock in straight into the feature, and start within those first 3 rows. There you see the tire off of Redpath's race car. But the 2 drivers currently heading the field, Jay Ward and Jack McCarthy, they both started outside the top 6. And in fact, they both started in row number 4. McCarthy started 7th. Ward started 8th. So they've come through the field, and obviously there's been a good bit of attrition already here just before the halfway point of this race. But interesting to see that 2 drivers that didn't make it straight out of the heat race earlier tonight are currently running one too.
So just Trevor Anderson over there at the moment, just trying to clean up aisle 7. That is Luke Redpath, the likeable Tasmanian who crashes out. 16 to go. I'm wondering about fuel. I guess everybody filled them to the top. We've done a few laps under yellow. We still have 16 to go under green. So McCarthy in second. Now, bearing in mind, McCarthy went upside down earlier tonight, exactly like Caleb Curry did in round 1 at Portland. Rolled over, came back and ran a podium. Guess where Jack is? He's your last start winner from last night. And he is sitting in second after rolling pretty awkwardly. Kind of got the car bounced up and down into turn 1 and 2. So War to lead away again once we get going. Track is clear, I think, now. Boy, it's had a bit of everything. Caleb Mills is not done yet. He won the first night at Portland. Showed plenty of ticker. And he is packing that top down. Payette has been largely on the bottom. Lights are out. 16 remain in your penultimate round of the Energy Hire WA Pro Speed Car Week. We're green. Look at Payette. Immediately to the bottom. Someone with trouble. Oh, man, is that Elliston? I think it's Jesse Nicholas in trouble. That thing went up immediately. I hope he can get to the infield and stay out of harm's way. He does. War, your leader. Back in second now. Mills on the top. Look at Nick Parker coming.
Remember, Nick Parker was at the rear of the field. Him and Payette almost make contact on the backstretch. But here comes Mills. He's into second. He's right on the bumper of Jay Warren in turns 1 and 2. Bounces it through the little bit of a rough stuff right there. He's got to run on the high side of turn number 2. Side by side, NHRA style down the backstretch. It's anybody's guess who's going to lead off at turn number 4. Off the corner, it's the Victorian. Caleb Mills leading the way. Ward not going away on the bottom. He's hanging top, but the bottom might be wearing away as now everybody behind Mills begins to jump to the top.
McCarthy, Payette, Parker, and Webster. 4 of them in that battle, and this is allowing Caleb to get away. And I mean getting away. He is driven clear. Probably 10, 12, 13 car lengths, immediately opening up on War. 5-car battle for that second spot. 11 to go. Now Payette pulls the trigger on the pass on War. He moves up to second. Parker on the outside with McCarthy and War. 10 to go. Webster nearly put a big slider on the 39 of Nick Parker.
Just 10 to run now. War to the inside through turns 1 and 2, and all of a sudden his world has changed. Now he's stuck behind 3 really fast cars as Parker, who mind you was at the tail of the field at one point in this race, has driven all the way back up to third. Your race leader has absolutely checked out, nearly gone by 2.5 seconds. This is the best race on the racetrack. You got a string of cars going for second, and Payette, could he be on the charge? Last time by is 2.4 seconds at the stripe. Mills will click off another lap. 8 to go. That time by, it was about the same. Another 2.4 second difference between Mills and Payette.
Everybody upstairs at this point. Oh no, Mills got the wall. Wow. He clobbered the wall in turn 3 and 4. I hope there's no damage. Boy, that was a lucky get off, but they made some ground on him. Payette is making ground. All of a sudden, Mills is very loose. They are starting to munch up the real estate between himself and second. Parker is right there as well. Tom Payette making ground. Right up, he got the wall as well. He got the same, maybe just a cushion that Caleb Mills got, and that opened up a bit more ground. Oh man, War nearly got to the wall as well.
Well, Payette had closed in on Mills by just a touch under a second. Now this time at the stripe, we'll have to see what the difference is. Just a tick over a second between your front two. And don't look now, here comes Nick Parker. Mills with a bit of a slip off in turn number 2. That's going to allow the 7 to close in. He bombs it through the slick and he's sideways, loses a lot of ground, and here comes Nick Parker.
3 laps left to go. Lot of trouble now as Parker looms on Payette. Caleb Mills, this is not done yet. 2 to go and they've all gone. We go yellow. Wow. This race, it's Saunderson, and he's climbing out very quickly. So Mitch climbing clear of the 3. Can see the body language. Always better just to hang around with the car, Mitch. Good thinking. Always just a respectful thing to help the officials to move your car. I know he's disappointed, clearly. But he did a hell of a job to even get that far. Boy, Caleb Mills, Tommy Payette, Nick Parker, Jay War, Jack McCarthy, Brock Webster, and we're going to go 3 laps. Wow. This is going to be mega. Second last round of the Pro Speed Car Week. So Mills from Payette, from Parker. Reese Burkett going infield in the 36. Might be a heat issue. So which way does Caleb Mills go? Boy, howdy. This is going to be a barn burner. Can they stick with this kid out in front? Or will he win 2 rounds out of 3? Where Greeny gets a massive start. Drives away. Payette goes to the bottom. Parker will come after Payette. And Caleb just drives that sucker off into the night. 2 to go. Caleb Mills. Whoa, look at McCarthy. Nearly got into the side of Payette. Nick Parker coming from the back. White flag about to come out. Man, Parker got the wall as well. Payette goes, he's got problems. It's a flat right rear. Tom Payette is out. The scoreboard hasn't moved. Checkered flag is out. Caleb Mills wins his second. Wow. Second round in 3 nights. And his granddad is absolutely elated here on the main straightaway. Unbelievable. Caleb Mills wins from Nick Parker from the back. Jack McCarthy, Jay War, Nathan Smee, Max Bevan, Brock Webster. Come on, folks, put your hands together. What a job for Caleb Mills. A year ago, he destroyed his race car here. It was a huge crash. What a way to come back and conquer your demons. Very, very good drive. It had everything in it. Nick Parker came from the back after looping it on the first go-around. And the win will go to Caleb Mills. Come on, Pixel, put your hands together. He's on a tear. during Pro Speed Car Week, that's for sure. And that was a great drive. They came at him. He banged the wall pretty hard a couple of times. He was certainly pushing the limits. And what a comeback for McCarthy as well after rolling over earlier tonight. Man, it was mega. I hope our damage isn't too much. Tomorrow when we get to Premier Speedway Warrnambool, that we still have a stout group of cars because the boys were having at it tonight. Let's go down to Drake York with a very happy feature race winner.
What a story. Coming into Pro Speed Car Week, he had never won a speed car race, and now he's won 2 of the toughest races of the season, especially out on the East Coast. Caleb Mills, your winner. And Caleb, I know it was a goal for you to win at least one round of Pro Speed Car Week. Does it feel surreal standing in victory lane for the second time this week?
Well, this is redemption, isn't it? We ended up in the ambulance here last time, so this is a driver's track, and I've got plenty of laps here and never really had any success, so it's good to really see it pay off, and it helps having a really nice car to drive. So I can't thank the guys enough and all my amazing partners, and what a track as well. These guys did a great job of giving us that racetrack.
Race car drivers are known for having no fear. You mentioned it. Last year you left here in an ambulance. Was this race a little bit intimidating, knowing this was the event that really set you back for most of the end of last year after this wreck here last year, but now to come here to victory lane, that's got to be sweet redemption, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it definitely set me back. I wasn't right after that one. But if you would have told me we'd win two races in this week with the best in the business here, I would have told you you're crazy. So wrapped to get that win in Portland, and then struggled last night, and then back here tonight. So I think it's just a testament to this team and how hard we work. You know, we're a small team and only a few hands on deck here. So this one's special.
I want to talk about your drive in front of the field. It was kind of the same story as Portland. Everybody wanted to go to the bottom, and you were the Lone Ranger for a long time on the high side of the speedway, and it looked pretty tricky up there. What was the key to making sure you hit the high side perfectly every lap? Because you did step over the limits a couple times at 3 and 4.
Yeah, it scared me there, banging the wall off at 4. And there was that lip there. I think Caleb got it, and going into 3 as well. So just finding where my car was best, and I was best sort of sliding under it and cheating it through the slick. And wasn't sure if I was going to kill time, and the guys behind me were going to catch me, but I didn't see a nose shown, so I just kept doing what I was doing, and it paid off, so I'm glad.
Second career speed car win comes in another major event. Night number 3 of Energy Hire WA Pro Speed Car Week goes to Caleb Mills. Nick Parker, I feel like we could write a book about his 30-lap experience. Let's start off with lap 1, turn number 3. What happened? I know you don't want to talk about it, but I kind of have to mention it.
Yeah, just got a little bit bottled up, a little bit pinched off, and probably should have just sat back and let things play out in front of me, but it is what it is. We spun it around. I thought, oh God, no damage, but we got away with it, no damage, and had the work cut out for me then, but yeah, the car was just on point, it was on rails, and I could go top, I could go bottom, and it made it pretty easy to come through everybody. And then, yeah, once we snuck up on that top 5, I thought, geez, we actually got a shot here. So, you know, with a couple extra laps and a little bit of luck, you know, we might have had a chance to have a crack, but definitely had the car under us. The all-hot hire V39 was really on point, so just got to thank all my sponsors, my dad, my crew, Pettis Suspension, Paul Charlesworth Motorsport, Scorpion Racewear. They give me killer gear for myself and my team. Peninsula Tow Bars, B&R. I think I got everybody, but I might have missed somebody. But yeah, congratulations to Caleb. He drove another pretty much flawless race, and Jack on the podium again. You know, those guys are killing it too. So yeah, really happy for us.
Nick Parker mentioned it earlier today, how much he wanted to finally get that Energy Hire WA Pro Speed Car Week Championship this year, and that was a drive that definitely would earn it. Jack McCarthy rounds out the podium in 3rd, and it looked a little tricky to be out there up front. 1 second it was the bottom, and then the next it was the top. Tell me about trying to find the perfect line, because it seemed really hard tonight, probably the hardest so far during this speed week.
Yeah, I don't think there was a perfect line, to be honest. It was changing lap by lap, and you just had to go where others weren't, and I gave up a few spots there by staying on the bottom too long in 1 and 2, so it's just right for my guys, mate. You know, they put so much hard work and effort in, and you know, to reward them with a couple of nights in a row up here is the best thing I can do for them. Huge shout out to all the PSW crew as well, Katie, Trav Mills, Leroy, all those guys, mate. You know, this is a pinnacle of midget racing in Australia, and I'm just happy to be here.
Jack McCarthy came into the night tied for the points lead. We'll have to see how the points shake out headed in the finale at Warrnambool tomorrow, but you have to imagine he's got a really good shot. Wingless SummerSlam out on the speedway now. We'll send you back upstairs.